And PSG.LGD, they're going to go with the Mirana here. So what I would imagine would be the FY here early. We've seen the Mirana, I guess, against the Chen. Just a nice way to be able to deal with the creeps. And you can also get out of the cogs as well with that matchup. So I guess it's a nice pick already coming through from them.
I remember my fellow Chen player telling me that he actually doesn't really mind it so much, you know. Because of the, you can still trade with the aura, because at level 1 you can choose to get the aura first, so you don't really care. Like, sure, you can go and arrow the camps or whatever, you know. You're still gonna be able to help the laning phase.
Well, alright, they're gonna go Ember TA. It's a real, I mean, they have last pick and they're already showing their, what I would imagine their 1 and their 2, so probably going to leave the position 3 for last pick, which is interesting. You know, sometimes we're seeing the position 2, this you give them that 10th pick and then it secures kind of the lane and they're able to stomp over that. And it's interesting how Sparking have gone so far with the draft.
5 seconds remaining.
I think a lot of the teams right now, they have been last picking the, I'm not sure why, but they've been last picking the offlaners a lot. But here, maybe the reason for that is they don't see the carry matchup, the carry lane yet, so they don't want to pick to the offlane hero because you don't know the matchup. So basically, you see Mirana, Ogre, and Void Spirit, right? So that's more or less going to be the offlane heroes and the mid hero. So you are able to pick your mid lane hero and safe lane hero with that, the idea of those 3 heroes going to be most likely the heroes in the lane.
Sure, yeah. And you see that they're going to get rid of the Beastmaster. Just, they're looking for a 3 right now, what they'd imagine for Old 11. Someone to group up early, and I mean, just amplifying their push potential. Like in Beastmaster, you win 1 fight, you know, they might just be able to pretty much take your base. And
under Lord, they're all decent replacements for the Beastmaster.
Yeah. Where do they want to go?
I mean, you could, if you really want Dazzle, I mean, I think you could also go Dazzle to buy Necrobook. It's pretty decent. Are you worried about the TA just bursting you later on though? I could put the Dazzle against the TA though. Dazzle beats TA.
That's true.
Yeah. And but I don't know if they play the Void Spirit or not. That one I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think I've mainly Old 11's kind of on these like tanky strength, like initiation, like the Void kind of
maybe
doesn't.
Tide would be decent.
Well, right now they don't have a whole lot of team fight from PSG.LGD and not a lot of catch for like kind of the Templar Assassin Ember.
Type Mirana is a strong lane, so Tide could work for that. The other option is Brewmaster, because they like team fight, like you said. Brewmaster could be the one to do that.
Ooh.
So it's an offlane, I think it's offlane Lycan.
Offlane Lycan, okay, this is interesting. Cause...
I mean, actually, no, not offlane Lycan. I think it's offlane Wraith King with Mirana. That makes more sense.
Does this not really give you a guaranteed way to catch the Ember though? Like, you can dodge the Wraith Fire Blast, like it kind of feels awkward in that regard. I guess they just kind of group up with the tankiness from the Wraith King and the utility that it gets.
It's the aura is one thing, and I think the other thing is you want to have a stun for the Mirana, so she can land her arrow. You can win the lane. Remember when we talked about the lane, how important is the laning phase right now? Because there's no shrine to fall back on. Regen is very important, and being able to kill your opponent so the regen doesn't matter if you keep sending regen. That's also something you can look at when you're playing the laning phase or drafting for it. I mean, look at their heroes, man. Mirana, Wraith King, Ogre, they're all going to win the lanes, you know. Their draft is heavily centered about winning their lanes.
And is there anything Sparking can go here to kind of offset that? I mean, they've something to help out against the Lycan matchup now.
I mean, Underlord, Tide, it's the same for SAG. They can pick all these kind of heroes to deal with the Lycan. Damage reduction basically.
Sure. And I guess that the Tide minus armor is nice with the TA as well. You can never take away that effect with all the physical damage coming through.
Yeah, isn't that the what?
Oh, they're gonna go Dazzle instead, so alright. Huh? This is really interesting. Okay. So both teams lacking a little bit of team fight and kind of lockdown, but you know, we're seeing this kind of meta where people are just brawling, you know, 15-20 minutes in, and I guess you put the emphasis on how the regen, and you take a look, they have a Chen Dazzle, you know, can you go through the TA refraction as well? This is
Ignite, haha.
Yeah, that's true. Ignite. I mean, Ogre, you're going to be in a spot to get the Ignite off. I guess it's a little better than the Fire Blast, but is there a lineup you're favoring at the moment?
It's hard to say though. I don't really understand the lineups that well, but I feel like just based on the one glance I'm taking right now, I think it's easier to play as the top lineup, the Radiant lineup.
Sure.
They have Chen and Dazzle. They can just group up and push, and like you said, they have a lot of regen, Dazzle plus Chen, a lot of heal. So because they don't have team fight, you're talking about both sides not having team fight, but having a lot of heal is kind of a team fight because you're just sustaining everyone so nobody dies. So when the enemy can't kill you and they throw their spells, you're just gonna win the fight because you're outlasting them.
Yeah, and I guess the Lycan can't really, like, that hero wants to deal with the support straight away and then, you know, kind of make your way to the cause afterwards. So I guess with all the little bit of sustain to help out, you know, it might be awkward for Lycan to find them. It is a position 3 Lycan, so they give it over to Chalice the Wraith King, so maybe they can try and first blood down bot with the triple stun, the Fire Blast and the Wraith King stun with Mirana follow-up, maybe?
It's an offlane Dazzle, right?
Yes, yeah.
I think that's a pretty good idea because if you're offlane Dazzle, and if you don't get a good start, you're pretty much screwed in the game. He's the kind of offlane. He's like a Timbersaw, you know. If you don't get a lane in the beginning, you're like pretty much going to be very useless. So a tri-lane could be a good option against the Dazzle. But the Clockwork, I think if the Clockwork saves his skill point, he can actually use Power Cox. If he knows it's a tri-lane, he can just use Power Cox to block the creeps. But
Sure.
actually the lanes are not as expected. It's going to be a Ember top.
Yeah, they're going to put OP bot, okay.
Okay. Maybe they are thinking that the Dire is going to go aggro, so they're dodging.
Yeah, they want to dodge the lanes, but how does Ember fare in this matchup though? Like Wraith King, what do you think of him as a laning hero?
I mean, Ember has Chen, so that's a bit unfair.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. You have this amplification.
I mean, sure, he has the Ogre, but I think both sides will be able to farm. Maybe the Wraith King will farm a little more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting matchup already coming through. Not really, you know, a couple of interesting picks from both sides. I guess we're seeing the Lycan very much right now, but yeah, you know, the Wraith King.
You could see how Radiant started the game. The Clockwork, he has boots, right? So he went out and placed those wards. So they are actually trying to scout the lanes to figure out where they should place the heroes.
Yeah, the information is incredibly important right now. I guess it's going to be able to help mid if they need some rotations before. You know, we see the Void Spirit a lot, not really leveling up that Dissimulate. So maybe if Clock does force maybe a rotation mid to help out. But TA, as you said, it's a pretty good matchup. You know, 50, 55, 45 matchup, depending on, I guess, if there's any rotations. But
I mean, let's just make it 6-4 so it's easy.
Yeah, 6 for easy like that. All right, we'll do that, and we can switch up if there's any other help. Because now the power runes, I mean that's a change that had to. I'm surprised it took so long with the power runes now being at 4 minutes instead of 2. You know, we're seeing a lot of people talk about the regen and the DD as we're going to see a fire snipe and a Corey here, which is nice, I guess, helping out Somnus. Give him that. There's maybe it goes back to 55-45 now, not the 6-4 with that snipe. I doubt it, but.
Okay, he won. He denied the range creep and he got his own range creep.
Yeah, just so much emphasis.
That's all the range creeps.
Yeah, there's so much emphasis on that. I mean, because the experience in gold that it actually does provide you, but even then.
So the Clockwork is actually just gonna scout where the Mirror. I think this is quite a pretty good move. Whenever you're playing against this hero that always has kill potential on your lanes, you as the other opposing support, you want to mirror his movements so that your cause feels safe in the game. So I like what the Clockwork did there.
I guess also sorry, continue.
No, it's okay. He just forced the Mirana out, and the Mirana's gonna go for the tri-lane at top.
Yeah. I was going to say, I guess also it's kind of stopping FY from being able to farm up the jungle as well, because he's just taking away the experience and stopping the movements, mirroring that to protect the lanes, which is really nice. As we see, you know, Somnus having a pretty good time early on, 7-2 compared to the 2-1. I mean, it's a couple of early waves, but still at this start, you would take it in this matchup considering at the moment.
I mean, it's also the South, because he wasn't able to get his South, you know, so he has to play a lot more conservatively as a TA. Usually with the early South, you can actually play very aggressive for the first 2 waves, but because of that, he's playing a lot more conservative and he can't really go for as many last hits as he wants to.
Yep, sure. And we are going to see Xnova kind of, he's even just going to chuck a Bloodlust out for Somnus and then run away. But just go mid and say hello and maybe help out a little bit there. As we see, I mean, Chalice is kind of keeping his own down bot here as the Wraith King. 5-0 to the start against the OP. And it looks like the Dazzle is going to go the Necro Books. We have seen that slight nerf, I guess, the 115 mana now for the level 1, but it doesn't seem like it's too much of an issue.
It's like, the nerf is more towards, I think, the
Strength heroes?
Yeah, the strength heroes buying it.
Yeah.
Like, or even a Spectre buying it. For intelligence heroes, I think it doesn't change so much.
Yeah, because you've already got so much regen that it's not really going to matter. But
so right now the Wraith King, I'm surprised they left the Wraith King down here for such a long time alone. He's not able to last hit very well. Only 7 last hits.
Yeah, I was going to say he's not really
sure.
Like, he doesn't really zone anyone out, does he, in the lane? Like, he's kind of just a hero that stays there and gets what he gets until he gets some help.
I mean, and you're a melee hero against a desert, it's hard enough itself, and it's 1v2.
That's true. Doesn't feel as nice in that matchup. And he's in the off lane, I guess, too.
How many couriers have died?
I mean, we've got no action. It's literally just the courier warfare. I mean, this is, ever since everyone, there's, 10 couriers across the map, it's literally just massacres left, right, and center. We're almost seeing the number of couriers die the same as what the heroes are, but we haven't seen these position 4s have too many rotations or so far. I guess this does help that Felix was kind of chasing down the Mirana, mirroring the movements, and we're going to see them in the opposite side of the map here, but still waiting to see kind of what these 4s are maybe able to offset the laning stage so far. As Panda is going to be fine here. It's a really interesting start. No one's brawling at the moment, just I guess trying to secure the lanes, and we might see a fight by the power rune though. So much emphasis on supports rotating down and being able to secure that for the bottles.
Yeah, both the team supports are actually all supports that are meant for laning phase, securing the lanes. That's why you're seeing all these mirror movements that's running around, maybe trying to stack or control the runes.
Yeah, are there any stacks?
Should be quite even, looking at the CS across the board. Apart from mid lane where the TA is losing because of the early career kill.
Yeah, Wraith King's actually not getting a whole lot, and I guess it's like you said that they didn't really bring a hero down bot to help out. How important is that level? 5-minute mark for the Chen? You've got the catapult. You're going to be able to. You can't really go to mid with TA, but we will see first blood down bot. Felix and OP. They'll find the Ogre. Looks like doing a little bit of shenanigans.
Not a very good time to die here for the Ogre. It's bounty run time.
Felix doesn't have too much mana to play around with, so looks like he won't be able to get aggressive and steal Somnus's bounty on the high ground here. But yeah, do you think that Chen might be able to make him like some movement to the lane and pressure with this first catapult? Of course you can't take over the catapults anymore, thank the Lord, because that was an incredible. You
sound so salty when you say that.
Oh, I mean, just we saw what they're able to do. I mean. You just go mid, double catapult, just take the tier 1 tower, but yeah, like,
Dominator.
Exactly, yeah. But I guess you don't really have you don't really want to group up with the Ember. This hero just wants to farm and
But look at the dire supports, they are both in mid right now because of the catapult.
Yep.
And Somnus is I think one creep away from level 6.
Yep, this range creep should hit it. So you see a lot of rotations mid. Even FYs can hanging around the area. So
this is what you have to do. Even if you're losing the mid lane, you have to be there to defend. Because the team that won the lane, he's gonna bring his supports there to kill the tower.
Yep, definitely important. I'm gonna see Xnova scout it out. Although Somnus does have that level 6, so they might be able to turn it back, but I guess with the ward on the high ground, he's going to be able to scout up the movement from the Void Spirit in top lane, Alt 11. He also pops the Shapeshift. He just had that Necro Book delivered, so forces the Ember back to base. Not level 6 just yet, unfortunately, so he's going to have the long walk back.
I mean, it feels like O11 is playing carry this game, and Chalice is actually an offlane Wraith King. That's what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting nothing out of bot. I mean, OP's having a really good time, because the supports aren't giving him a lot of emphasis right now. Kind of just leaving him on his own device.
He's kind of a good comeback hero though, because you can farm with the skeletons later.
F5. Jungle. There's 2 leap charges, 1 more right click from DD with a refraction damage. Might be able to find it. Although the creeps, no chance for the side blade, and now DD's kind of pushed up a little bit far here. They do have 3 hero rotations coming through. They'll deal with the refraction. So almost a lot of damage early now. Is able to get rid of the trap slow as well. But yeah, nicely played. They'll block the arrow. Maybe they'll just turn their attention to Red Panda still with another astral step charge. They'll get on top of the Chen here. Clockwork is going to try and TP in, but it's going to be a little too late. We also do see Chalice end up falling down bot. So OP again, so that's another hero that has the Necro books relatively early, and he can put pressure on the tower. Still has this catapult wave down bot.
Oh my god, there's gonna be so much stuff this game. Chen babies and what, 2 necro books.
And can they even deal with that stuff though? Like you said, like I mean, the ogre doesn't. We've spoke about the supports that don't have really any way to shove out the lanes, and Xnova kind of just being that hero. As we see, they might think about diving. Looks like now Clockwork kind of oversteps the mark a little bit here. They will still get the tower. Now Summon's going to rotate forward, but now with the hill bomb, Mirana drops, but I feel like you're okay with that. I mean, you find OP was having a really good start to the lane. It also gives it over to Somnus, and in the meantime, it looks like Old 11's going to be able to get a little bit of experience mid as well, so not really missing out on too much.
He has shape right now, so they should be looking to do something with this.
Yeah, it looks like he is, with Felix kind of around that mid lane. DD on the Templar Assassin, not really a whole lot you're going to be able to do to help out, so they could put pressure on this T1 tower if they want to, with Old 11 rotating. He goes to shapeshift, so Chen, not really that tanky hero without the sustain coming through at the moment, so we'll be able to bring him down. But you see the emphasis that SAG want to have. They really want to try and protect the tower. Templar Assassin does have a DD, so this might just force them back. You know, they find the shapeshift, they'll get a kill, and they'll get out of there. In the meantime, Chalice is getting a nice little bit of space down bot, some catch up.
Much needed catch up.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, you see just SAG going back. I mean, OP, it'll help out mid, and they're just going to push the tower with the Necro books. This is a nice thing about the Dazzle, is that your early impact, I guess, with pushing the towers, because this Necro books is really, really nice.
Yeah, I'm wondering what is Chalice gonna do with his build. And what do you actually build? Because he's actually so far behind.
Like, Radiance doesn't feel good though, because don't Radiant just hit like a 20-minute timing with Templar Assassin and then like blink Deso BKB and you...
Maybe he should just buy like team items, or even consider buying Necrobook. Yeah. Necrobook could be good for him as well.
But he doesn't have a good mana pool though. Like, how does he, I guess, just bunch of clarities?
Soul Ring, I guess. Maybe he could go for Soul Ring. I'm not really sure what else would you buy here. Maybe you can get Blade Mail.
Well, they do have like a decent lineup. Like, you have the 2 cores, the Void Spirit and the Lycan, to make some space though. But is this enough? He actually queues up the armlet. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think the Radiance would have been a little bit too slow. Like, you know, if you let the yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it feels like what are your opinions on Wraith King late game at the moment? It still feels like the Radiance into like the second item is kind of the big timing.
Yeah, his late game is still the same. Very strong.
Yeah.
So right now that's gonna be, I guess, one outpost apiece. Red Panda, they're managing to secure the top outpost for the Radiant team. And Dire's gonna get the tower.
That's a long TP. Xnova, yeah, we'll be able to find him.
Who was the culprit?
Yeah, I think he actually might have TP'd to the outpost, honest. Either the outpost or T1 top, but at least he does deny the cog so they don't get the gold, but they'll still find the kill.
Let's check who's the culprit.
Yeah, who was it? I mean, they also give it to Cello, so that's really nice.
I think you're right.
Yeah, he TP'd to outpost, yeah.
Everyone had TP. No one's on cooldown.
This is interesting. Ember, it's a lot of damage. He might be going for the Battle Fury on Ember. Yeah, he is.
It's good against the Lycan. Battle Fury.
I mean, what are your opinions on Maelstrom compared to Battle Fury right now? It feels like Maelstrom's, you know, getting nerfed, and then Battle Fury is just getting kind of the buffs here and there. The build up feels nice as well, but
I think in this situation, Battle Fury is just better against Lycan.
Sure. And it looks like maybe, I think Dazzle's going to go for the mech as mid lane though. Nice push back into the arrow. They'll find the Dazzle. This is a big target. You take rid of the hero to start the fight. A lot of the heal and the Shallow Grave sustain as well, but on the back, Slight will be able to clean up the Ogre Magi. They're going to continue the fight with a hookshot forward, traps up Somnus, but of course he has the Astral Scepter to be able to get out of the cogs, but it looks like Chalice, though, in a bit of a tricky spot. He still has the ultimate to play around with, but they lose that tier 1 tower mid, and just losing the Ogre, I'd say you're relatively happy with that for PSG.LGD early on.
Oh, the Chen was only level 5, you know. If he had heal, I think they would have been able to maybe turn the fight around with... Because I don't think that Dazzle would die if the Chen had heal.
Isn't a big thing, I was gonna say maybe the mech on Dazzle where they can start making it happen, but the TA still, it's a little early on until she's able to have the items, and that's really nice for them to be able to take the tier 1 mid and bot. You can infiltrate that jungle, but we'll probably see that being able to take over the ancients for a Templar assassin. This hero is one of the best ancient farmers, so I guess it gonna reduce the farm that she's able to get if Dai can make something happen.
Yeah, the timing is pretty much Dagger Dazzle with the Dazzle Mech plus Necrobook. That's gonna be like their first timing. And the Chen Blast is actually also gonna be like a pretty big deal because of all the stuff they have. The Necrobook and the creeps.
Yeah, just tank up as much as possible. The little bit of sustain as well you can never say no to, so
yeah.
In the meantime, not too many important neutral items. I mean,
top lane.
What's gonna happen up here, DD? They will lose the reincarnation though, X-Nova. Gonna try and help out. DD's incredibly low, but now with OP, the rotation, they'll turn it back around. Somnus comes on the back line, a nice wrap around with the Astral Set. Templar Assassin's gonna end up falling. X-Nova's just taking up all the damage right now. Somnus, he does have help on the back line with FY. Chucks out an arrow, it's off the mark, and now we see the Ember Spirit. Doesn't have too much help to play around with. He's still trying to find that Battle Fury, so we do have the Deso, but I mean, it looks like Raiden can take Roche incredibly fast. Like if they win one fight near Roche, they're gonna try with the Yosef they set up on the Ember here. Can he get anything off in the meantime? The perfect chain lockdown, it might be enough. No, the slight Hand of God as well is going to be used. He's got a couple more remnants to play around with. They might turn it back around as well because the T1 tower to TP2, and Somnus is going to be careful. Yeah, here comes Lycan, a massive wrap around here, but can he get there in time? Somnus falling incredibly low. You see the minus armor starting to tick through from the backline. Lycan cuts him off. Red Panda's going to be the target for the Wolf here. We'll be able to bring him down now. Tries to help out Somnus. They do have the invis thanks to the Moronic here, so it looks like Clockwork now, the eastern side of the lane. Chalice showing up, helping out drastically there as we see PSG.LGD find 2. They also keep Somnus alive. Perfectly done with the Mirana ultimate there. And they might be able to catch Ember. He's already running away, but he doesn't have a whole lot of mana.
I mean, I'm thinking whether the Raiden can just go Roche after this, because they popped the Shapeshift and the Wraith King ultimate previously, so maybe with the Dazzle and Medallion they can just run into Roche, just kill it.
Who's got them? Oh, yeah, Radiant, yes, sorry.
Yeah, Chen has Medallion.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you said die for a second.
And they have the Dazzle. I think it's gonna be quite a quick Roche if they do it right now, because of the Shapeshift down.
Yeah, they've also got a nice ward in the area, but I guess that's about to expire. We might see a fight by the bounty rune though. Like if they take this fight, would you like them to smoke, take a fight by the bounty, win it, and then go Roche? Because it's awkward if they smoke bot and then they win that fight. It's too long to get to the Roche pit.
They should take this area. They should stay around here.
Yep, sure.
And take the top bounty runes.
You see in the meantime that we might actually see FY is gonna go up the high ground. A little ballsy. I mean, I guess it's not the greatest lockdown. You see Felix can follow up if he wants to. It's also going to start the Ogre Magi. They've got the dust, but maybe Clockwork's gone a little bit too far here with Somnus on top of him. The stuns chainlock him in place here. They still have the Grave. Scepter as well is going to buy him a little bit of time. And now with the Ember Spirit showing up here, they did use all their stuns to kind of control the Clockwork. So Ember's going to feel free to run up the high ground. And they'll find the Wraith King without the reincarnation. He's going to get brought down here.
Yep. Lycan didn't really even want to come, even though his TP was on cooldown. He didn't have Shapeshift just now.
And Lycan's also going Orchid, which is really, I guess, just...
What?
Yeah, I mean, Necro 3 straight to Orchid.
I guess they want to kill... Because they don't have good lockdowns for the Embers here.
I guess, is he worried as well? Like, what? That's the ultimate, but there's a lot of heroes now. The physical damage from DD, he might tick out, and he will. Is that just Roche? I mean, he used Shapeshift and he's dead for 40. Don't you just go? But Somnus, if they find the Templar Assassin, this is massive Somnus. A double kill. Well, that's going to prevent you from taking Roche now. Nicely played from the Void Spirit. Kind of trades the Lycan kill there.
Oh, that was a rather strange move, but it worked out in the end. I think the Lycan thought the Void Spirit was a lot nearer. He didn't expect him to take another few seconds to arrive. That's why he went in like that.
You see, they're trying to find the power rune once again. They do have the sentry in the area though.
Everything has ulti. He really wants to fight right now. But Lycan doesn't have Shapeshift for 50 seconds though. Not sure if this is the best time for them to try to engage.
Does Wraith King want to wait till he hits level 12? He's about 11 and kind of a third
that
right
would
now.
That would be better, but yeah. I don't think it's that important.
Yeah, sure. See. Haven't seen too many movements, smoke-wise. I guess they're still... I mean, TA's yet to find the blink. 1600, 2 deaths at the moment, but FY might be in some trouble here. It does have the double leap, but Clockwork kind of hunting on the back line here. Nice movement from the Clock. Will be able to stop any retreat there, so it's another kill, and this is about to be the Battle Fury as well from the Ember, so it feels like Radiant kind of these, TA is going to be relatively farm the Ember as well, having an item to be able to deal with the Lycan summons, and he'll have a lot of farming potential as well with this that steroid item, but they're going to try and Roche here. So can Dire just trade out the map like they can't contest it? I guess they have Shapeshift and Wraith King ult here, but do you feel content with going Roche? Cool. Hang on a second. He fuzz a bit. I think we might have lost Winter for a little bit there, laddies, but it's all good. We'll play this one out. So it does look like Radiant, they're going to be able to take Roshan. DD's got the Aegis here in the meantime, so still with a 1,000 net worth lead, they're feeling pretty content. They're getting the items throughout the meantime. But at Die, they trade out the tier 2, and Old 11's closing in. He does actually have the Orchid now, but Radiant with Medallion, Vlad's, this could be a really big timing, considering, I mean, Blink Deso, Aegis, Ember's about to have the Battle Fury, and the Battle Fury is kind of something you want to prioritize, use it more as a farming tool. He's also going to go Maelstrom afterwards. So double steroid to help out with that farm. Really interesting choice here, but mid lane you see Somnus able to play on the front line because they don't have a lot of ways to catch the hero. Instead, they'll try and find the back line straight on top of the Ogre Magi. X-Nova has the protection coming through thanks to the Moonlight, but DD just assassinates the Ogre, the twin head with all the armor, and doesn't stay alive long enough in our Old 11. Straight into the middle, but he's not tanky enough. He just runs into the DD Templar Assassin and melts through them. And now Chalice is the next target as well. Has Reincarnation. They're going to try and help out here, but I don't think there's much they can do. A nice straight arrow connects onto the Ember Spirit. FY comes in the area here, but Chalice, I think you're just going to die a second time here. And SAG, an incredible fight for them, but they're going to continue on. FY has the leap charges, tries to go up to the northern side, but the Trap's able to scout out. They'll find a third target. A beautiful fight there for the Radiant lineup. They force the buyback on the Ogre Magi. They don't lose anyone. And they're just going to continue on. Now, we'll go up high ground here. I mean, how do you hold this now from PSG.LGD when you don't have a lot of ways to shove out the lanes? No repair kit as well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. All good now.
Sorry.
No, all good. I mean, did you catch that fight? I mean, it was SAG coming out on top there with the fight kind of around the bottom rune, and they're just going to walk up high ground, and there's nothing really Dire can do. There are tier 2s at least, but DD, he's going to blink forward here on top of the Wraith King without the Reincarnation. Hookshot finds 2, the Cogs as well. Perfect initiation for the Clockwork. They got the side blades as well. They'll melt through the Lycan. 3 dead from Dire. Somnus trying to do whatever he can to kind of hold them back here, but they're even just going to go tier 4s. I mean, PSG.LGD, how do you hold this without any buybacks? And they'll melt through. Look at all the summons and the minus armor. This could just be over, Winter.
Go next.
Go next. This is Call the G's. This is just all of a sudden ramps up and the G's are dropped. So Dire, they're forced to tap out, and Radiant with the lineup here, just they win one fight. They've got the Aegis as well with all the TA's items, and wow, this game is just over in a heartbeat. A 20-minute victory for Sparking Arrow Gaming.
When you saw the power of the Chen, TA, Dazzle, these 3 heroes, the game, they were able to group up and push so quickly, and the Dire didn't have enough damage to kill anyone in the fights. They have so much sustain with the mech, the heal from the Dazzle, Hand of God.
Yeah, it felt like they just kind of grouped up on literally everyone, and Lycan couldn't hunt down the supports. When Lycan got into one fight, TA just turns around, like melts through that hero, and that was kind of all the impact that we really saw from position 3 Lycan. But Sparking Arrow, any other final thoughts after this kind of convincing game 1 after that fight? I mean, they got the items and then game's over.
I think the Wraith King had too bad. They sacked the Wraith King. I don't want to blame him because he was left alone. And you say off lane Lycan, but the Lycan feels more like the carry this game. because he's been given the safe lane, and initially they started top with both the supports to secure his lane for the first minute. Like Chalice was alone at the bottom lane for 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, we just saw the kind of the Clockwork hunting the Mirana, and I guess this is from the start where Clock did a really nice job of preventing FY from kind of having the impact through the lanes. And with that being said, Sparking Arrow, they're going to be able to take game 1 in this best of 3. So we'll see what PSG.LGD are going to be able to do to turn this one around in our second game. We'll be back shortly for that one.